Hello and welcome to round 6 of the Illegal Pancakes podcast. We have a lot in store this week. And what are we going to talk about?
Well, when it comes to a lot in store, I think everybody should be getting excited because there's about to be a lot of Ultraman DVDs at your local Best Buy.
What's Ultraman?
Well, you don't know what Ultraman is?
Oh, I have a very,
Okay, yeah. So I guess for those people who don't know, E.G. Tsuburaya, he was the guy that did the special effects for the original Godzilla movies. Eventually, he wanted to go out and start his own production company called Tsuburaya Productions. And the most famous thing they made was actually it was a show that was called Ultra Q, which was kind of it was kind of like a precursor to the X-Files, where it was about a organization called the Science Patrol, and they dealt with supernatural monsters and stuff. And eventually, it formed a sequel that was called Ultraman, which is where one of the characters who worked at the science division was given powers from this mystical space being known as Ultraman. So pretty much what it was this guy would summon Ultraman, and he would become this giant silver robot, and he would fight other giant monsters. And a lot of the giant monsters he fought were old suits that they used in previous Godzilla movies that were just like modified. So pretty much if you're a fan of the Godzilla movies, you probably know a fair bit about Ultraman, but it's a Japanese TV show. It's been going on since the 60s. It's still going on to this day, but for the first time in the United States, every single season, which I don't even want to know how many seasons that is, it has to be I think it's 27 or 30, they're all coming on Blu-ray to the United States, even the Ultra Q series, which again is something that no one has even heard of.
So, two questions related to that.
Okay.
So are they having it all in one big collection, or are they splitting it up to volumes?
I know at least they're splitting it up because they released some images of separate boxes, as in for season 1 and 2. It's very possible they could be selling them all as one because the company that bought it has the rights to all of the Ultraman episodes. So it would make sense that they could sell them all in one box set.
Okay.
The one thing I'm a little curious about is, because I'm sure a lot of the Ultraman series never made it to the United States. So I'm wondering if they're going to add their own dubs to it, or if they're just going to release them just plain Japanese.
Yeah, that was going to be my second question, like a sub versus a dub. I mean, I assume with it being as old as it is, that a lot of it's probably just going to be subbed.
Yeah.
But they could go back and redub it.
And I know that at least the original Ultraman series, the first couple seasons, were played in the US. So they already have an American dub. And all of the first season is on YouTube, so that's how I'm familiar with the franchise. It's actually kind of funny because I was really into Godzilla as a kid and I wanted to get into Ultraman, but it was almost impossible to find any copies of the show or the movies or whatnot. So with the new Netflix show that came out a few months ago, I wanted to watch some of the original series, which is all on YouTube, and it's not too bad. I mean, it's very formulaic and stuff because it's an old show from the 60s, but the special effects are cool. And if you're a huge Godzilla nerd like me, it's fun because you can recognize that they use a lot of the same tanks and stuff. And one of the monsters he fights is called Gyrus or something like that. And it's just Godzilla but with a frill. So I just think this is pretty cool that it's all coming out in the United States for the first time. Though that being said, I'm going to feel bad for watching the pirated ones on YouTube now. So
Speaking of that, well, not YouTube. Going back to how there was, a reboot or whatnot on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
Are they bringing any of the older episodes to Netflix or Hulu?
I don't know. I don't think so. I haven't seen anything about it. I guess they probably could. Let's see. Oh, it says that they're all going to be on a streaming platform called Movie Spree.
Oh boy.
So yeah, who knows what that is. I assume that the Netflix show won't be released with these sets, but
No, probably not.
yeah. But yeah. So if you're into that stuff, it's pretty exciting.
All right. So I guess we'll move into our second topic, which
Okay.
John Carpenter of Halloween fame is set to write a new Joker comic, as in the Batman Joker. What do you think about that, Robbie?
I think that's really cool. I mean, I'm not too good at buying new comic books. Usually I'll just go to like a place or go online to get comic books usually, but I think that'd be really cool just because I mean I'm a huge fan of John Carpenter. I've seen a lot of his movies, mostly his best ones, but I've enjoyed all of them just because I think that he has a funny twist on stuff. But I'd be really curious to see what he would do with the Joker. I am kind of curious about a couple things because it's going to come out in October, which is the same time as that Joker movie. So I'm wondering if it's going to be like based around that, or if it's going to be its own thing, or what. But I mean, it's John Carpenter. It'll probably be fun. You just have to listen to synth music while you watch it.
Yeah. So I'm just like looking through the article that we kind of found on this. It sounds like it's going to be its own thing. So it's only a one shot, so I don't imagine they would really want to try to tie it in too much. He could do whatever he wants with it.
Mm-hmm. It'll just be interesting just because John Carpenter, he does a lot of weird horror stuff like The Thing and like The Fog and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see if he puts a twist on things or if it's just going to be another Joker comic.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to read through this article again and like not confuse the part where it switches to the talking about the Joker movie that's coming out.
Yeah.
It's like, the director of the movie said it wouldn't follow anything from the comic books. It's like, wait a minute. The director's working on the John Carpenter book now? Oh, okay. But no, I imagine he's going to have his own twist on it. Like right here he says... Yeah, he says this new comic puts the Joker on a mission to get his swagger back in a world gone bad by outbatting everybody else. Proving that the greatest evil is always the one that leaves them laughing. Oh boy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder if it's gonna try to be like a retread of like, the Killing Joke.
Yeah.
He's gonna try to do an origin story, or if he's just gonna throw that idea out the window.
I think it'd be pretty cool if it was just about like the Joker just like wakes up one day and it's just like his daily routine with everything, and it's like he like goes outside, like everybody's like mugging each other and stuff, and it's just like a normal day in his life.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he's not always fighting Batman or escaping from Arkham,
Yeah.
It was just like one day, like him just like going to like some black market to get some bombs to do some attack or something.
Yeah. I mean, Batman probably doesn't even need to like be in this.
Yeah.
It's like they could just make it about Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Which
now, riddle me this: do you think that DC should let John Carpenter direct one of their movies?
Depends on which one, but I think he would do a pretty decent job.
Yeah.
It's like I'm trying to think of something like in particular that he'd be really good at like doing, or like a particular character or team.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of drawing a blank.
Maybe like Swamp Thing or something.
Yeah, because that's more like creature
horror.
Yeah, horror. That was actually the name that came to my head. I just didn't say it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know too much about Swamp Thing. I didn't want to assume that it was like a horror-related thing.
I don't know too much about him either. The one thing I know about, there was like a comic book run they did where like all the characters were like mixtures between like Marvel and DC characters, and it was called Bat Thing, where it was like part man bat, part Swamp Thing.
Oh, okay.
And it was I forget what the name. I think it's like Detective Boyles or something like that. He was from Batman the Animated Series, and it was about him trying to hunt down this big like swamp bat monster. And it was easily the best out of that series, but
yeah. Going back to Carpenter, like, I'm just thinking of this now. If he wanted to do another Batman thing in like a film form, he could do that Batman Metal or whatever it was.
Oh yeah,
like,
the one
series that came out with like the Batman that laughs.
Yeah, the one with the big spikes around his head.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, either have him or the guy that did Hellraiser do that. Crap, what's his name? Clive Barker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well,
I might have to pick this one up. Let me think. I'd probably have to get it online.
Yeah.
But I mean, it'll probably cost like $7 at most. And I mean,
probably not even that if it's just going to be paperback.
Yeah.
Depends on like how many pages are in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know.
I wonder if this is going to be released as part of DC's Dark comic line, which is like their adult only one.
Maybe.
Yeah. But also maybe not, because there was some controversy with that earlier this year.
Like what specifically?
Did you not hear about Batman Damned? The first comic book to show off Batman's wiener?
No.
And like what the controversy wasn't the fact that it showed Batman's frontal nudity. It was the fact that the digital copies took it out. And a bunch of people were mad because they're like, oh, well, they're not respecting the artist's vision. You would think that would be a bunch of people upset that, they drew Batman's wiener like the wrong size. Like, I think that comic run actually got like canceled, and I'm like a little upset about that because I'm like, well, I mean, when was the last time a Batman comic made that many people mad?
Yeah. That's freaking hilarious.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't even know what to say to that.
All I know is that the paperback issues are really expensive now because they're
they got Batman Pinor in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Okay, so what are we going to talk about next?
So we have our first ever Star Wars news, and we're going to be discussing that at Comic-Con they released a new Stormtrooper class. So with the new Star Wars movie coming out that not really anyone's too excited for, there's going to be some new Stormtroopers, just like there always are. And these ones are called Sith Troopers. And they're just red Stormtroopers with lines on them. And their helmet looks more like a clone trooper because it's got the T-visor on it. And a lot of people are freaking out about it. I'm almost 90% sure that there'll be maybe 4 of these Stormtroopers, and they have maybe about 7 seconds of screen time, just because it's a Star Wars movie and it's a new Stormtrooper. Let's have a recap of all the new Stormtroopers they've had. So first off, Captain Phasma, wasted. Then Rogue One, we had the Beach Troopers. So they were the green and brown Stormtroopers.
The Shadow Troopers?
Oh yeah, that's right. They're the Shadow Troopers. Okay, the Shadow Troopers were actually pretty cool. They did a good job with them.
they got a decent amount of screen time.
Yeah. Star Wars: The Last Jedi, the Assassin Troopers, or whatever they're called, the ones that have the big laser axe. They had about 2 seconds of screen time. You know what really bugs me about that is afterwards, he has a battle with Captain Phasma, and none of them pick up the laser axe. I'm I want to see that in use. And then Han Solo has the police trooper who is in it for about 2 seconds, and he gets run over or something. So if anything points to that, the Sith trooper will be in it for a little bit, and then he'll get his head cut off by Rey or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
What's interesting about this is that they're called Sith Troopers, which that's the same name as the bad guys from Knights of the Old Republic. So if you've played those games, you have like the old Republic troopers fighting the Sith troopers, and a lot of people are wondering if this is supposed to be like a reference or an homage to that. I'm fairly confident that it has nothing to do with that, and they just said, "What should we call these? How about Sith troopers?"
Yeah, I mean, it's a very generic name. It's like,
Yeah,
it's probably just a coincidence.
the one thing that kind of bugs me though is that one of the things that I liked about The Last Jedi was how like the different characters were trying to like avoid the different things of the past, and like you have Kylo Ren, who's not really like a Sith, but he's not really a Jedi either. But I guess he's just a Sith now, so they're using Sith troopers.
Yeah.
I think the main reason I'm not that excited for the new Star Wars movie is just because I'm really afraid that it's just going to be them going, "Oh, remember this thing you didn't like in The Last Jedi? Well, now it's fixed." And to be fair, The Last Jedi has a lot of flaws, and there's a lot of stuff in it I don't like. That being said, I don't think the next movie should just be them like trying to apologize to fans.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see what happens. With Comic-Con coming up this week, we should have a bunch more news on probably Star Wars and Marvel and other stuff.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Make sure to buy that new action figure before it sells out.
All 12 of them.
Or at least you could just take a normal Stormtrooper action figure and spray paint it red.
Yeah, pretty much. Then just take a Sharpie marker and add like the T over the like the nose bridge or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. I don't know. I've complained a lot in the past that like the Stormtrooper armor doesn't make sense because it's bright white, and unless they're in the snow, it doesn't help. Well, like if it's bright red, there's no planet where that's gonna help.
Yeah.
Maybe like the lava planet from Episode 3, but that's it.
Not even then. You need like orange.
Yeah.
Like a glowing orange.
Or just black.
No, they'd like silhouette it.
Yeah. So yeah, the new Star Wars movie looks great. Can't wait. I hope that the Emperor comes back as Yoda.
I hope I'm able to get through the movie without
like having to take a break or scratch your head or say, why did they do that?
Yeah, pretty much. I was having an aneurysm trying to think back to like watching that movie the first time, Last Jedi.
Yeah.
It's like, that's something I should do. Just compile like a bunch of scenes into one video and my first like reactions to it, like what I was thinking at the time.
Yeah.
Which I still don't know if I have it. I know I have it on Blu-ray. I don't know if I also have it on DVD, so it might be harder to get footage for it.
What is it? Well, this is kind of goes into the next topic, but a few years back, one of our earlier videos, we talked about how we were going to do a Last Jedi review, and then we never did it. And I think we're finally going to get that out by the end of this year. I want to try releasing it before the new Star Wars movie. And I know it's just going to be a hard video to make just because there's so much to say about that video, but also like so much that's already been said.
Yeah. There's really not much more we could add to it.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know. I think there's a lot of stuff that I could probably add, but
okay.
Just have to wait.
Just have to make it interesting.
I'm just afraid it's going to come out to be like being like 23 minutes long.
That wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, I suppose.
We've made longer videos. If our podcasts are any indicator.
Mm-hmm. Are there any videos that you're working on, Connor?
Yep. Right now, going into this week, I'm going to finally work on that Doom Eternal story video. As in ways I think that they would handle the story that would be really like dumb. Okay. Crap, that was a really poor way of wording that. Idiotic ways to handle Doom Eternal's story. That's pretty much the topic. It's going to be... I originally thought I was going to do it in list format, like a food for thought, but I really don't have that many points to it. At least not that many serious ones. I got a couple comical ones in there that I would just want to throw in, because I think they're funny. But, yeah, I think it's going to be a really short video.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got to get
I
that
think
out.
that I need to start writing my video about all the guns in Doom Eternal.
Okay.
So I haven't even looked at any list right now.
Yeah. Definitely try to get that out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, would you want to do that before QuakeCon?
I'd want to do it after.
Okay, because
just give myself some time.
Yeah, you got 2 weeks now, but then you could probably just start prepping it.
Yeah, and the next 2 weeks of my life are gonna be pretty busy with finals and going home and stuff.
Oh boy, have fun with that crap.
I won't.
Glad I got that all out of the way. Yeah. Other than that, there's stuff that I'd like to get done or get out there by the end of the year. I'm thinking about doing a couple horror game related videos for
yeah, that's
Halloween.
true. I'd like to do some Halloween themed videos because Halloween's one of my favorite holidays.
Yeah. How would you feel about doing a playthrough of maybe one of the original Resident Evils or Silent Hill games?
I'd like to, because those are games that are kind of on my bucket list. They're the more I research of them, the more I'm yeah, that'd be a good game to play.
Yeah, I haven't beaten any of the original Resident Evil games.
Yeah,
actually, I've only really beaten one Resident Evil game, the Revelations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much beaten every Silent Hill game I bought, 1 through 4. Still gotta play through Origins, but that's been kind of a chore. And also, I just forgot about it.
Mm-hmm. And then we'll have another Castlevania review, because doesn't the new season come out this October?
Maybe. I would have to look into that, because I haven't been hearing.
I haven't heard anything about it either, but
that might be a thing that comes up at Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we would definitely do that.
And then what is it? Godzilla vs. King Kong they pushed up the release date, so it's gonna come out in March. So I might do some more videos about that. That means we'll get to see it at the same time, Connor.
Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Is it going to be in theaters?
Yeah, it'll be in theaters.
Okay. Nice.
And if you're lucky, I'll make you watch the original Godzilla vs. King Kong, which is, in my opinion, one of the worst.
I'll have to pass on that. Yep. What else have I been wanting to do? Been wanting to do a Quake 1 review, just to try to get.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, just try to get a format down, see how people like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. That's another thing that a lot of people have already said a crap ton of stuff about, just because it's a 20-year-old game.
It's still popular.
Yeah. So I'd have to make it comical more than informative.
Mm-hmm.
Which I wouldn't mind doing. Okay. Anything else?
I think that concludes the podcast for this week. That's everything I got on my plate.
Yep. Didn't really have any comments this week, which is always a bummer, but I don't know. We're still looking. Feel free to shoot us anything. We're always looking for interesting topics to talk about.
Yep.
And at this rate, anything you put down, we probably will talk about.
Yep.
Because you have no competition.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's something really obscene. Or
racist.
Or anything we don't know anything about. Anything political.
Yeah, anything important, probably.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back next week with another fun podcast. Make sure to listen and to hit all of those exit buttons. All right. See you then.
Bye.
Peace.